let's talk about probable cause and training and experience. Hey guys, my name is Anthony Bandiero, bringing you the Roadside Chat. All right, so this situation comes from an officer, a detective out of South Central Area Command. So basically, the detective had some pushback from a DA saying, hey, your training and experience may not be enough to go get a search warrant for a cell phone, right? And so the detective wants to know, hey, give me some feedback here. What should I be articulating? Do you have any court cases that support getting these search warrants based off of training experience? So the first place I want to start is a good definition of probable cause and some case law. One of my favorite definitions comes from Illinois versus Gates, 1983, U.S. Supreme Court. They said, in dealing with probable cause, however, we deal with probabilities. These are not technical. They are the factual and practical considerations of everyday life on which reasonable and prudent men and women, not legal technicians, act. Wow. Let's unpack this a little bit, right? The first thing is that when you're dealing with probable cause, you're dealing with probabilities. Think about that. When you ask yourself, do I have probable cause? Another way of saying is, did the person probably commit that crime? Is there evidence probably on that cell phone? If you're saying yes, and you can articulate why you think that, that should be probable cause. It's just probably. It's not very high. In fact, push comes to shove, probable cause when it comes to a level of certainty where 0 is no confidence there's any evidence there, and 100% is absolute certainty because you saw it with your own 2 eyes, probable cause is less than 50%. I know many, in fact, most cops, if you ask them where on the scale of confidence is probable cause, the vast majority will say 51%, and that's okay. That's an academy type thing where, we want the cops leaving the academy to really, do a good job, articulating the probable cause. But for my detectives who are, dealing with very serious crimes, when it comes down to it, it's actually less than 50%. All right. So the next thing is probable cause is based on the factual and practical considerations of everyday life, not legal technicians. Who are those legal technicians? Stinking lawyers, right? In other words, look, the lawyers, obviously have a part to play in this. I'm not saying that Anthony, are you saying that we shouldn't run our cases by the DA? Of course not. But I'm just saying, that we don't necessarily understand probable cause from the ivory tower approach. A lot of lawyers, let's face it, are not on the streets seeing crime firsthand, right? They're seeing crime through the reports and through what you tell them in body cams. But you're the one out there doing the criminal enforcement. You have to share why you believe criminal activity is happening and explain it to a DA, a judge, and a jury, right? Okay, let's go through a couple cases. The first one is United States versus Morton. It's a Fifth Circuit case, 2021. So this is all about it's all about using training experience and maybe some other things, but primarily here, training experience to get into a cell phone, right? Which is exactly what the detective is trying to discuss. Let me read you a quote. It's kind of long, but it's a lot here. So let's go through it. The affidavits successfully established probable cause to search the defendant's contacts, the call logs, and text messages for evidence of drug possession. In attesting that probable cause exists, the officers may rely on their experience, training, and all the facts available to them. So I like to have more than training experience, but training experience is nevertheless valuable. Here, the trooper relied on his 14 years in law enforcement and 8 years as a DRE expert, right, to assert the suspect's call logs often show calls arranging for illicit receipt and delivery of controlled substances. Stored numbers identify suppliers of illicit narcotics, and text messages may concern conversations along these lines as well. Since this is true of drug possession suspects in general, and Morton had been found with drugs, the trooper credibly alleges that there's a fair probability that these features and this knowledge, this information would be on the phone. Okay, there's more here. Look in the description above or below to see this, but there's a lot more here. But here's the takeaway. We cannot just articulate that based on my training experience, there's going to be information on that phone. What we need to do is articulate the why. What about your training experience indicates that evidence will be on that device? I want you, if you're interested in this subject, I want you to read the comments below, and I want you to read the quote that I gave you in Morton. Then, if true, if all these things that the trooper is articulating, if true, I want you to translate that into your own words into your search warrant, okay? Because he's basically doing what the nexus stuff. He's connecting that phone to drug possessions because based on how drug possessors, dealers, and so forth operate. Let me give you another case. This one is United States versus Khan, 10th Circuit, also from 2021. So I'm giving you really very recent cases here. Dr. Khan, I think he was basically a pusher of illegal prescriptions, right? Asserts that the investigator failed to establish a nexus, right, between his business, which is called Vape World, because there was no evidence of ongoing and continuous criminal activity at that business location. A source of information informed investigators that on at least one occasion, the doctor instructed a patient to pick up his prescription outside of Vape World. That seems kind of suspicious. Financial records also showed that the doctor and another person, well, actually his wife, owned Vape World. That Vape World generated thousands of dollars in cash deposits and credit card transactions, and so forth. All right. The investigator opined, right, gave his opinion that based on his training and experience, drug traffickers sometimes use legitimate businesses to conceal unlawfully obtained drug proceeds, either through financial institutions or bulk cash storage. These facts, along with everything else, provided a substantial basis for the magistrate's probable cause determination. So read that too, okay? That case is not directly on point with searching cell phones, but again, it's another case that says that training and experience is absolutely relevant to the probable cause determination. So going back to what the DAs want, they want that articulation, right? So lay it all out, right? I'm sure there's gonna be more than just obviously T&E. The training experience is gonna be other things specific with this case, but do a very good job flushing out those details, okay? Especially as Morton did it. I hope this helped. Do me a favor, there's a little like button or a little heart button. Show me some love. Hopefully you like what I'm trying to do here for you guys and, train you as best as I can so that you get it right every single time. That's my mission here. Until next time, my friends, stay safe.